Okay, welcome to the August 19th, 2026 Middlebury Park and Recreation Board meeting. We have 100% attendance here today. And so the first item of business would be to look back at our July 15th meeting and approve the minutes of such. Do I hear a motion?
I'll move.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
All in favor say
Aye.
aye. Okay, the minutes are approved. We are in the meeting. Welcome, Mary. Public comments. Well, Mary, you got here just in time. Park Commissioner is not here. Financials. Is there any comments on that? We had copies of those in, everybody had a chance to look at those?
Weren't we going to do something about the Ridge Run Roll Fund, that was going to roll over into something else or be renamed or?
It can be used for a park activity if we find the park activity that requires those funds.
Okay,
So,
A trail-related activity, yeah.
okay.
So we can exhaust it that way, and then it would be removed.
it'll be there, Elma, until it's not.
Okay.
No other comments on financials. We will welcome Tom, the consultant on the Bridge 265 or whatever project. Tom, you want to update us, Park and Rec Superintendent?
So you guys got a digital things update park reports. Besides that, we've been doing some Riverfest prep as far as getting the park looking a little bit more kept up. We usually wait till about this time of year to do the river cut. We try to only do that once a year. That's good to kind of keep the vegetation there as a barrier between the river and the land, but then we also want to trim that down before Riverfest so people can see into the river easily for the activities going on. So rented a brush hog that attached to our Toolcat. Our old Bobcat would not have ran that type of a attachment. So, but the Toolcat does. So that was nice to be able to use that. And did quite a bit of work in Riverbend along the Pumpkin Vine, Old Mill. We ran it for 2 days, and it was nice. It's one of those pieces of equipment that we're going to try to eventually purchase one because the more and more we think about it. So we could use it here, we could use it here. So we're going to be looking into that maybe next year as far as maybe a used one. I don't think we have to get a new one. But so, other than that, we had our movie in the night, or I've been calling it movies lately. Music in the parks. Really, really good concert. I think we'd like to have this guy back again. He was our country artist, Jesse Campbell. Our attendance was about 60, which was, not terrible, but I was hoping for more, and so we're just trying to think of more ways to do promotion. That included we had some radio advertisements that went out, so some extra costs there, and so it was a little disappointing as far as the numbers. But we also found out we had a lot of competition locally, and then also like in South Bend, and so it's just I think the planning wise, trying to really coordinate with local businesses and other places that might have competition, and just trying to do a better job of that on the upfront part.
Gretchen also suggested that you have it in Memorial Park.
Oh, yes. So there was a suggestion about having it possibly in Memorial Park as far as exposure. Because the sound traveled a couple blocks away. And a couple people said they heard it and they said it sounded good even where I was at. So, yeah, just the exposure possibility. Ideally, the playground right there is really nice for kids. I know Allison, your kids play in the playground, and there's a couple different families that all the movies. Wow. For some reason, I'm calling movies all the time, but music. Um, there's usually quite a few kids playing on the playground, but could be
Yeah.
East Park. Could be East Park. So yeah, we'll be looking at those type of things um, and going forward for next year. This was our last one, so we'll see if we can get, because we got a grant this year from the Community Foundation, which is a third of the budget. So we'll see if we can get that again for next year and maybe even solicit some more donations for some, more advertisements and stuff like that. So,
Sure, you could use the bank parking lot if you did East Park too, right there.
oh yeah, that's pretty close. Yeah, because that's one thing we'd have to think about. It's after hours, so even
Yep.
over there at the town parking lot behind Legendary should be pretty open, I would think.
Yep.
That time of day.
How was the one I didn't go to the one that was kind of in conjunction with the library. Did you have more attendance for that one?
We actually did, and even though it was moved, so we had to move it last minute into the library. But the combination of the local following of the one lane bridge and the library doing it, self promoting it for their end of their summer fun reading program, and they were giving out prizes and stuff, and so I think both those reasons. I think we had like 100 and a little over 100, so that was kind of nice. That it was pretty packed inside the library. But
There was a local band though.
Yeah.
That gets a lot of cover.
Yeah.
A lot of following, all by itself.
Yep. So, yeah, but we'll, it's still a pretty new program. We had one last year, which was the one lane bridge, and then 3 this year. So, still getting that. I'm sure there's a ton of people that's like, you guys had music in the parks. So it's just, one of those things, getting the word out more, getting people more used to it. So, I think we'll keep on trying. And let's see, I believe everything else that it's what we've been doing lately is going to be covered through here. Besides, normal maintenance and stuff going on. Well, I guess Luann, she's back to school, her full-time job. So Kreider is moaning and groaning right now, but with someone being over there all the time. But so we're trying to get over there as much as possible and continue up that maintenance. And it's a typical time of year with right now is when in mid late August with Riverfest coming up. So there's a lot of stuff going on. So
Great.
Yep.
Comments, questions? I'll pause here. Tom, will you introduce yourself?
Yeah.
I think most everybody met you, but
Yeah, except for Alma, I wasn't able to attend our meeting, but yeah, I'm Thomas Nicholas with American Structure Point. We are the designers for the Elkhart County Bridge 265 project. And we're the company that sent you guys the letter for the Section 4F for that project, asking you to look at the project and see if you have any questions about it. And then also, we think that this would have minimal impacts to the park. And if the board agrees, that's what the letter would be for, is to get your concurrence that we would have no adverse effects, I believe is the technical term, on the parks with the project.
I didn't realize you were going to be here, but that's fine. And I guess I might suggest that we just handle that topic now, rather than heading down here towards the end of the agenda, for your sake.
You don't feel the need to rearrange your agenda for me. But
Now, let's do that, and let's handle that right before we go into projects. Mary, we have 2 documents to sign. So, we've got an addendum to the access agreement and site access agreement with property owner to allow for completion of environmental site assessments and related activity.
That's a separate issue.
yeah,
That's a separate,
the second one you wrote.
this is,
That's for Maycog for Riverbend.
bridge,
No, the restroom area.
the rest. Okay, I got you. So we deal with the access agreement here.
Should, County Road 16 bridge that's the one. They said that they put it on to sign it, but I assume that's the right one.
So could you explain what they're asking us to sign?
You just basically did.
Okay, but we say approval of.
Yeah, it would be concurrence that there would be no adverse effects to the park and the uses of the park by the project.
This is the makeup. Good one, John.
I don't think that she printed it off some. I thought that you would, but I can go do that. We just brought that from the council meeting on Monday.
Oh, yeah.
I'll go print it.
I'm getting mixed up of what. When I called earlier, I was mentioning the other one, but these are both for MACOG. There is a,
No, I appreciate you walking us through the other day. Obviously, keeping access open and all of that, that's going to be great. So I think that was my main concern, obviously, with sidewalks and traffic, especially with the Amish population. So, yeah, I think you addressed those pretty well, and it's not coming too far in where it's going to affect anything. So I feel like that was good to see visually there the other day. Yep. Yep.
Thought that was a really good walkthrough and
Yeah.
hear what you guys' concerns are and making sure that we address that with our project.
Yep. And saving our trees as much as possible and replacing them if we need to. So.
Exactly.
Yeah.
One of my questions that I had after the fact was, if for some reason they wanted to plant a tree in that right-of-way area for any reason, or if we wanted to do maintenance on it, is that a possibility for the parks to do that if need be? Or is that then we don't alter that, we just mow it and maintain it as is?
I think planting trees would really be up to whoever's maintaining the right of way, so I think that's
Okay.
common with Mary. From an engineering standpoint, there's a certain distance from the road.
Right.
Which we call the obstruction-free zone.
Yeah.
I believe through here would be, if we put a curb in, it's actually only about 2 feet. So that would be the distance that we want nothing in that area. I
Right.
would advise about 9 feet. That's what it would be if there was no curb.
Yeah.
In which, if you don't put anything in that 9 feet, from an engineering standpoint, I wouldn't have any issues with that.
I just didn't know because we're signing over right away whether because I noticed there's some scrubby bushes stuff. So like if we wanted to take that out and then plant something further back
Right.
or, whatever, that would be available.
Or
So
if
it's
one of
good
those
to know.
trees that is there that's pretty large fell, can we replace that? in
Right,
that
those
same
sorts of
spot? Yeah.
things. That was just one of my questions that I had
Yep.
with that right away. So I appreciate the answer. Thank you.
Yeah, I think Mary could probably weigh in on from the non-engineering standpoint.
thank you.
My biggest concern with this whole thing is that making sure, because there's nothing in writing that says that they're going to do a kayak or a canoe launch. There's nothing in that letter that says any of that.
I was going to
So
ask
you
that
sign
question.
that letter
Mhm.
and you're saying it's okay, like, there's nothing saying what they're gonna do. That's my opinion.
We had discussion on Monday about the location of the kayak launch, and I don't know that we really came out with moving that to the north side of the bridge or not. I'm not sure where we ended up, or if we did. But I would agree if there is, especially given where it is now, there would need to be some type of remediation done there, or engineering, especially for being sure that that entrance is safe. But if that's not in there, I would agree with Mary that we would need that in there. Did we,
Other part with the sidewalk, if you're wanting on the south side with the trail, if you're wanting that further away, like if you feel that that's a safety concern, that needs to be in.
I was-
The sidewalk is particularly in front of the parking lot.
yeah, I was going to bring that up. If we need to have discussion, if we feel delineators are enough on top of the curb, or if we do feel that there's a little bit of space to move it more toward the parking lot, but then you've got the car issue as well. But do we want to look at that and see if there's anything else that, from a safety point of view, that we can do with that? And I would think we would ask for some information probably from Brittany in terms of trail safety, and I can do that for that particular area. And it's not terribly long. I mean, I don't know how many feet it would be. 30 feet? I'm not sure if it's even 30 feet. But
Oh, the actual length?
the actual length, but where that curves out in front of that parking lot, it's just, and
So-
our delineators enough or not, I
So
don't know.
I would, number one, with delineators, I can guarantee you the first snowstorm, boom, those
I
things
know,
are gonna
yeah.
snap.
Yeah.
So like, to me, that's a waste of money. If you're gonna do anything, pull it closer to the parking lot. If you're worried about cars, their nose coming out onto that sidewalk, put in parking bumper so it can't.
There's
That's
currently bumpers there.
Yeah, there are.
so, because basically then your trail is gonna go possibly right up against the parking lot, and maybe there's a curb, maybe it gets elevated, because I don't know how the elevation, if it's matching in right there, then you've got a curb coming up, you're already gonna be 6 inches higher. That's, my engineer brain is going 100 miles an hour right now, but, that's my thoughts. But yeah, the delineators are gonna snap.
Yeah.
Well, we have two items here that definitely need to be clarified in the agreement. And verbiage to be determined, but the sidewalk is well, both are irrealistic. But that sidewalk, Barb, as we pointed out the other day, is all of a sudden it's going to be right on top of the street.
Thomas, are the flags still there? Did you leave the flags?
I did not, I pulled those out, but
Okay.
put those back in.
It'd be helpful, especially where that trail section by the parking lot, if we could just see where those yellow flags were placed again, that would just be helpful for a visual for us to be able to see. Thank you.
That's not a huge cost to replace that sidewalk. I mean, yes.
Okay.
Open it out, but it's not
Big scheme of things.
in the big scheme of things, it's not that.
Is that something that could be in the contract project, or would that be
Yes.
something on us?
No, no, no.
Be in the right of way, so it could be the contract.
Yeah, the park board is worried that that would be an adverse effect. That's something that we would do to mitigate that effect.
Well, both of these need to be addressed.
Yes, yeah, the kayak launch will be put back, and we could put some generic language like the location could be in the north or south side as agreed upon with the board. So that way we don't have to have a decision now. And then we can get some language in there about the trail.
And we also need to include whatever excavation engineering needs to be done so it has access to the kayak launch, if it goes on the north side. Following?
Of areas that's in the right of way. Because there's some spots that won't be in the right of way that we'll have to take care of, but yeah.
Right.
I was gonna say, and like, you really don't have access right now,
Right.
so you're kind of going above and beyond.
Yeah, it's
in my
not already
opinion.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah, and you had mentioned something about getting to you fairly soon about that kayak location and the location probably the biggest thing at this point, or is there also any sort of design elements that would would like to know at this point too, or no?
I guess if there's anything specific to do with the kayak launch, I think we can decide on materials at some time in the future. We can decide on, I guess, size would be a good thing to know. If there's minimum dimensions that you want with it, since the current is kind of, I'd say, an undefined width and length. That way we can make sure that it can fit either on the north side or south side. And it's adequate size.
Because grading is pretty much the only thing that might be able to be in your scope at this point, right? Like you're gonna clear all that space and like if we gave you a basic idea of the grade that we would want, that's basically the only thing we can,
The grade in the material.
Okay.
You know, if you want
even if we
a
finish it with,
stone,
okay,
or a concrete,
okay,
either one of those, you know, I think we can get that included also.
okay. Right,
Right.
Yeah.
right.
Right. And R might have some suggestions about better material, if they'd rather have stone or concrete, since it's going up to the bank.
Yes, they may have some guidelines or recommendations.
When I read through the minutes, the one thing I didn't understand was you were talking about dragging the kayaks up and you needed something in the middle that was gonna help.
Hmm.
I couldn't picture that in my mind, what that was.
Yeah, there's some launches that have almost like I was mentioning like a 2x4s or 2x8s or whatever that kind of come up together. So you're dragging it down this little. It's almost like a V
Oh,
shape instead of on gravel or on concrete, so it's not gouging up your kayak.
okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I think if you do those two things, and then I know you're in town now. If you wanted to, you can put those flags out today if you wanted to. But I just want to say that it's getting mowed today. The property is. So if you do plan to do it,
I don't have the information with me.
Okay.
today,
okay,
But.
never mind then.
I
Okay.
can- If there's a.
You live
specific
pretty
day
close, that's
you'd
right.
love to have it out there, I can do it by that day, or else, I'll probably by the end of the week and then just email everyone, let you know it's out there.
Okay.
Do you have how many feet it is off the road?
That's I was going to ask that. Yeah.
Because I could go mark it.
Yeah,
Same
I
here.
can keep it like bills, sections, and some of the-
Yeah, that's simple enough. We can mark it.
Okay.
So how does this affect this document we're being asked to sign?
I think we need to, basically rewrite the letter and get this information in there and send you a new copy of it.
And
Alright.
this is what you need signed by the 31st.
Yeah.
This is
that-
what the date we're shooting for.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So we'll get this updated and have it to you by the end of the week.
As far as like voting on that, I guess if it's sent out to the entire board, might be able to do an email vote or something.
Does that suffice, or should we all gather back together?
Right, have to do a.
Gather together? Okay. Well, let's get that in hand.
Yep.
And then we can decide on when we can all get together.
We have to be televised also? Okay.
Oh. Okay.
Still learning the new rules of the television thing, so.
It's a public vote, so
And-
anything that's public that needs to be voted on, it needs, any type of discussion.
That's fine. Is there anything else that, for Thomas, we need to discuss? Okay, so we're gonna put the flags back out. We're gonna do some rewrite on these two topics. And when you get that back to Mary, then we'll find a time we all get back together.
Okay.
Is that acceptable?
Mhm.
Okay,
Maybe we can
Mary?
set it for like next Wednesday. Just set it now. We'll just have to advertise.
Mhm.
Well, time-wise, if that works, yes. You're shaking your head, yes, so.
Sounds like a good plan to me. I mean, I appreciate everyone coming out and being able to walk the project. Alma, I apologize if I couldn't accommodate your schedule, but if you have any other questions, you know,
Mhm.
please reach out if you think of something later today or,
Yeah.
please reach out. We'll, work with you guys to get this, project to benefit everyone.
Appreciate it.
Okay, next Wednesday, what's the date? Anybody can,
26.
26th.
10 o'clock?
10 o'clock?
I can't do that, but that's okay. If it works for
there-
everybody else, that's fine.
Still have a quorum.
Is there a time that would be better, or is that whole day, Tim?
That pretty much whole day. I have an event in Goshen. Yeah, but that's fine. I can catch up with you guys.
We don't need the whole group.
I don't know.
Just need a quorum. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Okay, next Wednesday, August 26th, 10 a.m. Does that conclude everything we needed to handle there?
I think so. I can get you a little bit of verbiage information about the kayak launch.
Okay.
So you can help in the letter, yeah.
Okay, Mary, is that satisfactory? Okay, let's move ahead with the Parks projects.
Thank you.
Thanks, Thomas. Landscape Committee, I'll cover a few things here. Lots of things going on in the Landscape Committee. One is next year is the 20th anniversary of the Quilt Garden program. And so the Convention Visitors Bureau is going to make this a very big year, both in regard to advertising, but also intra-county. The plan is that in the past, we've always been selecting our quilt pattern. The plan is for next year is the Convention Visitors Bureau is using the theme, the best of the best. Looking back over 20 years and saying, what's the best, most likely pattern that's been used in each one of the gardens, in our case, Kreider Garden. So they're going to bring forward some ideas. The Landscape Committee sat down, looked at all 19 of the patterns that we've had, and then did a kind of a envelope vote on each. Each person said, "This is my top 1, 2, 3, 4." We tabulated it, and for our input at this point in time, the Kreider Rose pattern was the number 1. So now we need to get their input, and we'll just make the decision from that.
We'll need to take down
Oh.
Oh,
Temporarily.
Better get something to put back up.
well, on that, that's yet to be seen, okay? We may, if it is the Kreider Rose, we may look at a little different mural. But that's to be seen yet too, okay? We don't want to chip anything in stone. Now, on the murals, we have the eagle mural that, and the other side being the flag. What is it? The American Legion wants the
eagle.
The eagle one. That's what I was thinking. So the American flag one could be available
Okay.
for here.
Then we take the rows down.
Excuse me?
Then we can take the rows down.
Well, I don't take anything down right away.
Yeah, that's a full 4x8. But wide,
No.
so full sheet
Have
of
you
plywood.
thought about doing some community involvement on choosing the community's favorite one too?
Well, I think we need to have what direction we're getting from the community, from the
Like,
convention visitors.
right.
Their funding, they pay for the flowers that go into
Oh.
this.
Yeah,
So they gotta vote in this deal.
of course.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so,
I was just thinking it would be fun if you put up the pictures and let the
yeah,
community or whatever, but that's understandable.
yeah, we got it. So that's one item is going on. At the part of the 20th anniversary, they're making a documentary. And so a couple weeks ago, I sat in Kreider Garden, kind of in front of the quilt garden that's there now, and they filmed me for an inordinate amount of time. And so at least part of that will be in this documentary that's going to be part of the 20th anniversary celebration. The other thing that's going on in the landscape committee is that planning for design, not only of the quilt garden, but of the other gardens in Kreider Garden particularly, but to include the everything memorial. And putting together the patterns and flower selection that we want for next year. We met with Homeland Gardens yesterday, Shar and I did, just to get input and ideas regarding their thought process, and then we'll bring it back to the landscape committee. But they've already placed an initial plant order for 2027. So they're looking for us to give a plant order to them probably by the end of September. And that will probably also go for the quilt garden. So it's not not unlike previous years. I use the comment, it's not unlike farming. You got to make decisions now for next year. But those things are kind of moving forward. So like I said, a lot of decisions to be made between now and the end of December for the landscape committee. Tom will roll over to Riverfest.
Well, we're less than 2 weeks away, so kind of getting down to the nitty gritty. We had a meeting Monday on site, and we have a few less vendors as than previous years, but everything's shaping up to be pretty good. I'll send out the final volunteer task list or positions and stuff to everybody here soon. I don't think I have to make any changes actually, so I think it's pretty much ready to go. So I can send that out soon. And
You setting up Friday then? Some? Okay.
yeah, we'll depend on the weather.
And stuff, yeah.
Yeah, we can definitely put out the big 20 by 30 tents, and then depending on the weather, we can put up the 10 by 20s if it's
Okay.
not going to be thunderstorming overnight.
Is that a morning or an afternoon thing?
Usually morning.
Okay, great.
So
When you say vendors, are you talking about educators too, or just people that are actually selling stuff?
both, both educators and the food vendors had some difficulty with keeping the food vendors. There's been a couple that's had to pull out. So, but we'll get there, and we do have, just to be kind of on listening to, the 102.7 radio station is going to be having commercials starting this Saturday, running through next week. So I should have played that little bit at the meeting. I forgot about that, but it's a 1 minute, a full minute commercial. So a lot of information explained in it, and it sounds pretty good. So yeah.
Okay. It's rushing towards us.
Yes, sir.
The artwork and the 8.5 by 11 page and the things which you've used in the kiosk looks good.
Yeah.
Nice artwork.
Yeah, it does really look good. Jeff always does a good job.
And I think everybody here's got a job in the,
Pretty much.
okay. Everybody know what the job is.
Whatever Tom tells me, yeah.
That's what I said.
I'll be there, yep.
Long story short.
Show up.
I won't be here.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, I don't have you on the
Yeah.
list, but yeah.
I'm leaving town next Thursday.
Yeah. That was a major trip,
Yes, a big one.
major trip, fun trip. Okay, that wraps up, okay. Barb, trails?
Trails meets September 15th at 12:30 here, and we will be reviewing maintenance plans for the trails, as well as hearing back from the foundation on a recent conference they just attended with activating trails in different communities and linking trails. November will be our meeting where we are pulling together maps of the town and looking at potential long-term connectivity for the town, but then also for the county. We want to thank the park board for getting some trees removed from the trail. We had a really strange one that just fell across the top of the pumpkin vine and people could go under it, but that would not be good. So we closed the trail for a while and got that moved. And of course, it happened on a Saturday or a Friday night or something. So it was weekend stuff. So thank you for removing that. And there've probably been a few others, maybe along a different section that's a little bit outside of our responsibility. But so yeah, so thanks for doing that.
Well, added kudos to Aaron Smart for helping out with that, coming
Yeah.
in, and staff here in town hall assisting to get stuff printed for detours, and Andrew was the one on call that night, and so yeah, they did a great job.
That was just after our discussion with the coalition about trees falling on trails and the danger of that and, what kind of protocols we need in place. So,
Yeah.
yeah, so thank you for handling that. And that's it for trails.
Well, Barb and I were in a interview a few weeks ago.
Oh, mm-hmm.
You wanna speak to that, or
I can. It was for I think the annual report for the foundation, and they're highlighting various communities across the county for their work in parks and trails. And so our trails group was interviewed, and I believe a Goshen group was also interviewed separate from that. So we've provided a few trails pictures, and Middlebury may be highlighted in the annual report, I think. So,
nice little touch, little for Middlebury Trails.
yeah, that was nice. Mhm.
Tom, Pumpkin Vine Advisory.
Yeah, we did have a meeting this month, and the big, actually two meetings, the normal meeting and then a budget meeting for the maintenance fund. And that's the main funding that's coming out of that this year is going to help to clear this corridor between Dairy Queen and County Road 35, with where it had so much damage, and there's still lots of leaning trees and hanging branches, and so a lot of that is going to get done. Well, that whole section is going to get done sometime later this year after the trail ride. And for Middlebury, probably yet this year we'll have both sections of PV1, PV2 asphalt sealed. Might work in conjunction with Shipshewana because they're having their section sealed as well. So we might try to do that kind of together with the same contractor. Hopefully get a little bit better rate. So they're still kind of working on the details, and as far as how they're going to fund that, if they're going to fund it directly or they're going to gift the money to the different municipalities. They're trying to figure out what the best way that's going to be, and then also how the municipalities would be involved. I think it's important that, for the most part, that some projects are smaller than others, but still, probably the municipalities and everyone kind of agreed at the table to so like Middlebury would be would be hiring the contractor instead of them hiring them. So, and so I think we were leaning at the end of it as being not necessarily a grant, but a gift that can be given, like a donation that can be brought into the town, or to the county or whoever's project is working on it, so. But that's yet to come yet, the final decision on that, how that's gonna work out.
Okay,
But good stuff.
good stuff.
I have a question for you that you could take back to the Pumpkin Vine Advisory next time. You know, we put out those yard signs, I call them, that say announce when passing and all that stuff, and I think they really helped locally. But I'd like the Pumpkin Vine Advisory to put them along the trail outside of Middlebury because so many people still zoom past and don't say anything. And I think it really helped when we put them out.
Yeah.
I would encourage the committee to put them out more to beyond our,
Yes,
Corner.
and some have been handed out to, oh, I'm trying to remember, they had some there was a couple meetings ago. I can't remember which other community took some. But as far as, yeah, making that uniform throughout the whole trail, that would be nice. Almost enforce that to happen somewhat, or is, very, very encourage it very highly for them to do that, so. And we do have some replacements, that we picked up this last time, because, they are yard signs, they don't last forever, and so we've taken several out lately that have been damaged, and so we have to replace some of ours right now, so.
Was that a pain for the mowers to get off and have to move them
So
every time?
really strategically planted them in different
Okay,
areas where
good.
we didn't have to do
Okay.
that, yeah. So,
Your first rodeo, yeah.
yeah, I'm pretty sure we were able to put them in all of them out there in spots that didn't have to be moved.
Good.
So,
One other thing with the pumpkin vine, we're gonna be doing a chip seal on Bristol Avenue so we can hold the roadway. And I'm gonna make a white line of where they need to stop so they don't go across the where the trail crosses Bristol. Because bikers don't,
okay,
cars don't like it either, but
yeah,
they're gonna have to deal with it until we can get a new roadway there.
kind of need the cars to help pack it down, right? Isn't that?
This one's, it's not as loose as what they used to be, but yeah. County's gonna do it.
yeah, Elkhart County does a much better job of their chip sealing than LaGrange County ever did.
Yeah, so, yeah, they're gonna do it towards the end of this month, but I just wanted to make sure you guys knew, I'm gonna put a line out there.
Yeah.
Telling them where to stop.
Good. Oh, for the resealing of our pump section of the Pumpkin Vine, that is gonna cover up the logo, the painted logo or embedded logo on the trail, which this last time when we did the, crack sealing, we did not crack seal over that. So that's gonna have to be done before the asphalt sealing, but just kind of, I think we talked about this in the trails level as far as whether or not we want to have that, try to redo it. It's going to be once we get on, hopefully this 3 to 5 year rotation, I guess it'll be 4 to 5 year rotation of sealing our trails. It's going to be something that's going to be more regular, trying to redo it if we wanted to, which could get costly. So, we've been talking about, is it worth putting that back on or something like that. So it's something that we're looking into. I think the general thing was it's nice, but it's not like,
We kind of came down that it's a nice to have
yeah,
and it's aesthetically cool. But the fact that we would have to replace it as much as we would have to replace it with the general maintenance every 3 years or so to 5 years, and the cost, it's just, I think there are other ways that we can get the Pumpkin Vine logo different places in different ways rather than on the actual trail itself.
Well, it's right there by those picnic tables, right? Aren't they on concrete?
yeah, that is on concrete.
Couldn't you paint the logo on the concrete?
Yeah, I mean, there might be things like that. That's a great suggestion.
Yeah. There's a picnic table bolted to that concrete, so it would kind of be under the picnic table, but unless we decide,
It
I'm not
doesn't
sure
have
if
to.
I've ever seen anybody sitting at that picnic table, but
Oh, I have.
I've sat there.
Oh, yeah.
okay,
Yeah,
okay,
I've seen, yeah,
Okay,
people
good.
do use it.
good. I honestly, every time we go by, it's like never been used, so, but it's good to know it's been used.
Yeah, people do use it. But yeah, we can look at that. But as far as putting it back on the trail, we're not leaning that direction.
Yeah.
Unless somebody has a propelling argument that we should.
Okay. The next item is Friends of the Parks. My name is on that. There has been no meeting, no activity, so we'll move on to Tim. Property
Yeah,
acquisition.
I mean, that's probably more of a Tom. Sorry,
Yeah.
I don't have anything new on that one.
That's where we get to, well, that's later on in the agenda, but,
Well, I'm on it, but yeah. I didn't-
But Tim and Tom.
you could, this is kind of a little bit somewhat parks, somewhat friends, Blue Way. I know we don't have a spot on here for Blue Way, but Tim, do you want to say anything about your recent
Oh, Blue Way?
venture?
Sure. Yeah, we had a great time. Yeah. So Lance Wyrick, Max Troyer, and we did 2.8 miles. It took about 3 hours, so it was a slow going. But Margaret Easton gave me a contact. Rob, I don't remember his last name. Albrecht, is that right? He's the president of the Northwest Indiana Paddle Association. So I have a meeting coming up with him, basically to discuss what does clearing a river take, equipment, best time of year, best strategies for accessing private property, or how to do the whole shebang. So I'll probably have more of a report after that, but it was definitely a lot worse than I thought as far as once we got to the mill. Yeah, I have a little diagram I'll pass around, I guess, but we were not in our kayaks for more than 2 minutes at a time, probably, before we were hopping out, throwing kayaks over 3 logs, getting back in. Yeah, we had a blast, but there's a lot of work to be done, that's for sure. So we are going to look at putting a committee together of Tom, probably Max, Dave, Margaret. Do we have anybody else on there? I'll pass that down that way, but
Not yet.
um,
You guys had some more.
try to get a plan together, and then obviously some of our conversation the other day with the bridge expansion or new bridge kind of rekindled the talk about the kayak launch, and we did talk about the north side and some of the proximity of where that parking lot is that's pretty much unused most of the time, and see if there's so much more space now that's going to be on the north side of that bridge that's going to be cleared by their project anyway, and can we tag onto that and have a nice graded kayak launch with a little drop off area coming off that mill park parking lot. So lots more to discuss there, but yeah, it was fun.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, add Blue Way as a project.
Yeah, we can probably add that as a
Yeah.
standing,
Yes, exactly.
item.
Yeah.
And the project acquisition, we can talk more about that with that MACOG user agreement.
I
That's-
agree.
That's
I
the
agree.
next step on that, so.
If there's anybody else that you think should or wants to be on that Blue Way, committee, let me know. And we'll get them on there.
Well, thanks for leading this.
Yeah.
This has been.
Oh, it'd be exciting. It'd be a
Yeah.
lot of fun.
This
Yeah.
has been on a wish list for some time.
Yeah.
So appreciate it.
Sure.
Yeah. The map's interesting.
Yep.
Here, I'll pass on.
So those X's are not just one tree. That's usually like 2 or 3 or 4 with brush, and so it was
Adventure.
thick. Yep.
And, okay, so we just go right for the invasive team then? There's nothing to cover then, so.
Just that, this whole month, basically, we've been over at Old Mill, opening that up. And, Al and Judy have been, they're the consistent ones going out there all the time. And then we've been able to help them out quite a bit this month using some equipment and making some pretty big dents in the invasive wall. And so it's nice because you can now just driving by, you can actually kind of look back into the woods some and see the boardwalk. So there's a couple big piles out there right now that I think the guys are going to get to tomorrow as far as hauling them away. But so just they're still plugging away, and I think probably starting next week or the beginning of September they'll go back to River Bend. But so we're very appreciative of them.
I don't know how we give appreciation other than doing what we're doing it right here, but boy, this has been just phenomenal work in this little old mill property. It's just,
Yeah.
it's just changed it dramatically. It's made the boardwalk more comfortable.
Yeah, it was starting to really grow in into the boardwalk.
It is just so. Thank you to Al and the invasive team publicly for just making a difference. So.
This is on the agenda, but we are working with Mary and Jesse on a volunteer appreciation event in September. We have 2 dates we're looking at, but we haven't finalized that yet. But it'll be all park stuff plus the Veteran Wall Volunteer Committee and Redevelopment Committee, and so it won't be just parks, but it'll be as many volunteers as we can think of that's helped out the town. So
Okay. Alma Communications.
Well, we've got Riverfest on the sign on both sides now. And I turned down the library. They wanted to put their adult spelling bee on one side. And I said, no, River Bend's our biggest event of the year. We need both sides. You can have it after Riverfest for most of September, and then we'll have Owl Prowl in October. Other than that, I don't have much to say about it. We had that one page in the Middlebury Matters.
that
Are
looked
we
really
going
nice.
to get to have that in November too?
Yeah.
Are you going to give us a full page again, or you just want a little blurb? Well, if we had our Christmas stuff in it.
Yeah.
When is it coming out in November, Mary?
So utility bills usually come out around the 15th.
So mid-November?
So like even the Christmas tree stuff, it's not gonna be like Christmas tree decorating, except to like say cast your vote.
Yeah, right. We talked about this internally a little bit. As far as getting people signed up for a Christmas tree, that's before that typically, or like that same weekend
Yeah.
is when we start the voting for the hometown holiday thing. So
So we thought maybe one page inside
probably be enough.
Well, you want more.
We don't have any hikes set up for next year yet, but maybe we would have winter hikes set up for January, February that we could, I know it's like a couple months away, but is there another one coming in January, Mary, or would it be February?
It just depends on what council wants to do.
Okay,
We talked about doing 6 of them a year.
okay,
So I don't know, we're gonna be somewhere between 4 and 6.
okay. So I don't know if we did have anything trail-wise buttoned down, we could put a save the date.
Yeah.
For that. Don't have anything yet.
What's your deadline going to be for the November one? October?
Yeah.
October 30th.
At some point, and I don't know exactly where we do this without, in Middlebury, but the redoing of what is now the Japanese garden could make a really nice article on. I don't know if it's probably more of a spring type of thing than a November type of thing, but somewhere along the line, I'd like to have space to do a article on the Japanese garden.
Yeah, so we'll have one either in January or February that will come out.
And that would be fine.
That would be a good time to advertise New Year projects.
Yeah,
Sure.
that's, yeah.
And
And then, yeah, so if we had one page, because we also have to remember, I think we're putting in the Flower Fund flyer for the November.
Right.
So, yeah,
So that's kind of why we talked about doing one page, and that way so you could put the postage just starts
yeah.
getting expensive.
So like when we can, I've already, I think, put that on the, asked Shar to put it on the agenda for the next meeting for landscaping, so we can come up with that. It'll have to be a little bit different than what we've done before as far as the layout for the flower fund. But it should be a little simpler because it'd just be one 8.5 by 11. But yeah, we can work on that at the meeting, so.
so you're thinking that you'd have the parks information on one side and the flower fund on the other?
I think so.
I wasn't sure if that's what you wanted to do or not.
Yeah, we'll have to,
I mean, we can do whatever is necessary.
yeah. Typically, the flower fund itself was, a trifold front and back. So if we can scale it down to just one side,
So it's like a poster.
like a poster, basically. The bottom that you can still cut off and send in your information.
Shar,
She's aware of this, yeah. I would think that would be okay. One side to have that, and the other side have like the Christmas tree information
It
and,
just depends on what you want to be able to have cut off,
Yeah.
like if it's pictures or something, that's one thing, but if it's half an article, like gone.
right.
Well, once people read it, then they're not gonna save it, probably.
But yeah, we can try to design that way so the backside of that cutoff isn't super.
do you see this would replace the little brochure type of thing with the,
Definitely could. I think that would help to decrease the overall weight going inside that.
is it going to get the visibility that we have with that,
That's what my worry is. So I'm a little bit concerned that it's not gonna get that, and I don't know if you just do everyday direct mail for certain.
I've got a concern that just that's not going to get the results that we've had in the past.
I tend to agree.
We were looking at everyday direct mail and we looked at specific zips, but we were gonna add zips and then get a new cost on that. Have we done that yet?
Yeah, I did that. Oh, adding the zips in Goshen area, Goshen
Well,
addresses.
yeah, and for, Middlebury schools,
Yeah, I got from last month, I had 2,591 pieces and 4 routes for $673, but that didn't include
right,
the Goshen
we were gonna,
Jefferson
yeah,
area.
we were gonna extend that. So, because with the flower fund piece in the past, hasn't that gone beyond those?
No.
It's just gone there. It hasn't
Yeah.
gone to all of Goshen.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, we've never went out to Jefferson so far.
I was just thinking in advance too of just communications in general. If we are relying on Middlebury Matters as our exclusive way of communicating, we're missing a lot of people
I agree.
with that, just in general.
No.
And not for here, but I think there are ways that we could fund it. That we can talk about later, but I guess I would just like to have a cost of what it would be for everything, for those additional zips, Tom, if that's possible.
Yeah.
And then we just know, and then we can make a decision that's not gonna work or that is gonna work, but for communications in the future, it could mirror almost some of what is in the Middlebury Matters, but again, we talked about partnering maybe with the library, and I don't know if the museum has stuff going on, but you know, partnering, and I don't know if there's a cost sharing there either, but there may be.
Currently, the library has a page in the Middlebury Matters.
That's, yeah. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that's more just of a future comment there, but
Well, I don't, I have a fear that just the one page flower fund flyer versus the brochure type of thing that we did in the past just isn't gonna get the response that we need.
Well, I think where I think falls is that it's on the inside of, you know, the newsletter. It's not something that's just by itself with the utility bill.
mhm.
So that's kind of where I think we have.
Does the newsletter go out separately from the utility bill right now, or does it go in with the utility bills? In with it?
So can we hit an off month from Middlebury Matters? Can we hit October?
Well, we used to do December.
Well, that would work. Because Middlebury Matters would come out in November.
Right.
So maybe the Flower Fund.
But this requires an envelope, which is more expensive than a postcard. And the water bills are just a little postcard, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so there'd be another stuffing of that, another.
That's not a problem. The envelopes and
Cost of,
postage is a little bit.
yeah.
I mean, at this point, everything's going to be more expensive with that in Middlebury. Any way you look at it. I mean, yeah. So it's just trying to figure out what our audience is and how we can best hit our audience. So I don't know if we have to decide this right now, but
I think we gotta,
it can't linger much longer.
no, we,
So in October, we're gonna.
Yep.
I think the flower fund flyer, figure out some way to do that. Mary, you with that? Okay. And still shoot for October, November.
Well, we're gonna go out in November with ours, because we've already started working on it. So if you wanna go October, you know, that would be October or December.
Okay.
Wondering if, cost wise, would it be cheaper to add it to the November or cheaper for a separate month on its own? Or it'd be about the same, I don't know.
Cost wise, it'd be best to just stick it in November, but I don't think you're gonna get.
But I mean, having a whole separate folded thing as a separate, you know, adding that to that big packet already.
We would just put it in.
They wouldn't have a separate thing along with that. Okay. Well, if that's the case, then yeah. Probably be more effective on a separate month.
Saying,
Either, either October or November, December.
okay,
People are used to it in December,
People are used to-
so
Exactly.
we're not missing a deadline if it's December.
exactly.
Yeah, I do December probably.
Well, let's just say December.
I don't know if I get a vote, but it's not my committee.
Well, let's just,
Yeah.
for the group here, just say December. Okay,
Bring that up at the next
yep,
meeting.
yep. Okay. Ready for old business. Tom, you've got a couple of items here.
Yes. So the River Bend Bridge Engineering. So we have two quotes. The first quote from Abin Marsh and the second quote from JPR. So this is, of course, the bridge inside the woods going over the river. And Avonmarsh total is 40,000. It does have a alternative fee for an extra potential base. So let's go up at 42,800 just in case we have the alternate. And JPR is 94,000. So there's some things in the JPR quote that we don't think we would necessarily need. And this project has kind of been delayed a little bit longer than how things happen, but we were hoping to. But I guess I just wanted to talk just a little bit before we make any recommendations here, but of the initial thought process going into this was maybe having that kind of quick fix and getting we had a couple of quotes for that. Now, obviously, we'd probably have to see if these quotes were still good, but now it's been 4 or 5 months. But the lowest quote was not much more than the quote for the engineering at 40. Lowest quote was 49,870. So I just wanted to just have another brief discussion about obviously a full bridge, whole new bridge would be the best thing long term, but it's going to be quite a bit more expensive. We still have to figure out how to fund it. I just want to just bring that up just for a little discussion, make sure everybody's comfortable if going forward with a full engineering and full bridge project. I guess that initially, just any initial reactions.
Ouch.
Yeah.
That's the initial one. Yeah.
So these two quotes are they are both for a full repair, a new bridge.
Correct.
And why are they so different?
Well, the more expensive one has some, their scope of work has some extra things on there, and that's one thing about getting quotes without a spec sheet or anything like that. But they have some like a wetland delineation, which we didn't think we would need. They have endangered species coordination, which we don't think we would need. But and then there's a couple, just typical like the design work, the permitting work is more expensive. There's a few things you can compare apples to apples, right? But so like the design work is almost double for JPR, and the surveys, even the topographical surveys, a little bit more. The permitting's more. So you add that up, and a few of those extra things that's not in the Avonmarsh one, and that's one of the main reasons.
On the first two things that you mentioned, Tom, the environmental types of things, is that something Avonmarsh missed?
No, not necessarily. I don't think it's needed in this project.
Okay.
So that, I mean, even if you take those a couple things off and say, hey, we really don't need these things, can you just take these off? It's still going to be roughly $20,000 more for the second quote. But
So from a structural engineering point of view, are they apples to apples? I'm not an engineer. I don't do bridges.
Yeah.
I know people who do. But
there was only one, and we don't have to make a vote on this today. There was one question I had, and I haven't, I called up, oops, that's the wrong one, from Ab and Marsh to try to get a quick answer about that, but, and, it's, and Mary, you might be able to answer this on the fly, I don't know. I highlighted it in here somewhere, here it is. For the one here is anticipated that the helical piles will be bid with a performance specification, eliminating the need for a geotechnical report. Which obviously, and then the JPR had a geotechnical report in the project. That was the biggest thing I saw the difference, and I wanted to talk with Chad and see if that's something that is common that's done in replacement of a geotechnical report, and if we think we'd still be.
So is he thinking that the helical piers, that they'll put it in until they get bearing capacity?
That's what he said on site.
I honestly don't know how you're gonna get your drilling rigs back there to be able to even do borings.
Well, we did both our walkthroughs thought that would be a problem. Walk back through there. Smaller rig. Driving thing. That's what they use that also for the boring over by the boardwalk a few years.
Oh, okay.
Might not be the same company, but it's the same type of machine. So this can be something that we could table. I hate to table too much longer because it's, we're just
What are we
pushing this
waiting to
project back.
Have a meeting.
We do have a meeting next week, that's true. We have a special meeting next week.
Wait, there's a meeting next week on what?
Signing
For-
that paper for
Oh, we have a
Thomas.
meeting. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I had a moment. I thought you were talking about the meeting with these groups again. Okay.
And I think that's fine, but what I hear is that there's an urgency in this entire situation. You get,
Well, it's just, the longer we delay it, the
Exactly.
project is delayed longer and the bridge is closed longer.
So we're all in agreement that we need to replace the bridge. We don't have to replace the bridge. We can ask people to do what they're doing and just not have that. I don't think that would be a good thing, but that's an option.
now, what did you say, Barb? I'm sorry.
I said it's an option to not replace the bridge. Take it down and then that park isn't fun anymore, but that's okay. I'm not advocating that. I'm just saying that's an option. If we do want to go down the route of replacing the bridge, which I think we're all in favor of doing, then you need us to decide which or weigh in. What are you looking for? Is it we're weighing in on which quote? Because that's kind of like,
Yeah. Yeah.
Are we still debating quick fix versus replacement? Or
I
are
didn't
we-
think that was on the table anymore, a quick fix, but is a quick fix on
Well,
the table?
That's why I wanted to bring it back just to, because of the monies we're looking at for the engineering is almost the cost of the quick fix. And the quick fix wouldn't be like a Band-Aid it's a pretty good, decent. The only thing is you're using the old bridge.
Yeah.
You're not getting a new bridge. You're using the old bridge, which quite honestly, since the tweaking of it now.
Yeah. No.
It could be a little bit further in disrepair from it being tweaked a little bit.
And so after the engineering, I mean, what are you even thinking are we another 100,000 or another 150,000
They're like 2 to 250
after the engineering?
after engineering is what we were ballparking.
So the full fix, 250,000.
That's just Mary and I's numbers.
Right,
together.
that's
Right.
okay. EST.
You would get.
Bridges are pricey.
And,
Yeah.
and a
Mhm.
quick fix, 40,000, is that what I've heard?
49 or something like that.
49,000.
Yeah. 49,870, so 50.
But knowing that there are could be some integrity issues with the current bridge. And are we capable of of making those fixes or, um,
If there was something with the bridge?
Yeah.
No,
so it's not just as simple as, yeah.
I don't think so.
So we could be looking at a new bridge anyway.
Potentially. It's hard to say. It's hard to say how much it got tweaked, it's already old. We don't even know how old it is. I just wanted to bring that up, just not to complicate and muddy
No.
the waters up, but.
No, that's
just,
fair. I mean, we need to
yeah.
Oh,
know.
my.
Yeah. Just knowing what we're getting into. I almost feel like maybe we could have a separate meeting, that's a meeting coming up next week to have a little bit more information on these quotes and
But from your review, it seems like Abbenmarsh understands the project.
yeah.
The other ones seem like they've a little out of touch with maybe what else is included. I mean,
Little bit.
Abbenmarsh is solid. I don't know which conversation that needs to happen, but
So do we need the same engineering, whether we do a quick fix or a
No.
full repair?
So no, the quick fix would be no engineering.
Okay, that's,
That was
it's resetting the railroad ties, right? Right.
actually eliminate the railroad ties. It would be
Okay.
a metal, yeah, A-frame, not A-frame, but a square type frame,
Mm-hmm.
pounded. I guess two metal I-beams pounded into the bank with one on top of that. And then it'll be the bridge itself would be bolted to those on both sides. Totally eliminating the rotted railroad ties. But that also doesn't include anything with stream bank stabilization, which
Right.
both of these engineering projects include stream bank stabilization as far as at least engineering that part of it. Which the more I'm thinking about, the more I'm talking myself out of the quick fix because which I had before, but I just thought I need to bring it back up. But
Well, when you see those big numbers, it's just like, oh,
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
easy to
Yeah,
talk
you have
yourself
to
out of
consider
it.
it, yeah, sure.
Exactly, you start saying, well,
Mhm.
can
Yeah.
we get by?
Yeah.
But because the quick fix would not do anything with the stream bank, which is the main reason what we're at the situation now because it eroded it too much to where the foundation fell in a little bit.
Right.
So
So what we're suggesting is we're gonna take this information, try to fine tune it, and then come back together when we are together next week on the 26th. Is that?
yeah, and to be fair to JPR, I can talk to them and try to get more apples to apples, and so they can give us a little more quotes will be more similar.
Okay. Okay, so that is, we come back to it next week. So, user agreement, Tom,
Could be in the November newsletter.
excuse me?
That update could be in the November newsletter. Whatever decisions we're making about that bridge, letting
Yeah.
people know.
Yeah, that'd be good.
And then setting the stage for fundraising.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you said user agreement, John, right? Where did I put it?
Excuse me, Tom?
User agreement was next on the
Yes,
agenda.
yes.
There it is.
Yes, because that communication thing is really important from November.
There's a lot of people that are, interested in
Well,
knowing
yeah.
what's going to happen with the bridge.
We got people interested and anxious. Okay.
All right. Did everybody receive this via email?
Yeah.
I know Elma reported back some good clerical grammar things that we can get updated.
That indemnify is a big change.
That's true. That's a big change. So we'll definitely get that So what got this whole thing started was, so this user agreement, we've, had a very similar format for many, many years. And it's been updated here and there, and seemed like every update kind of the text was a little different, the formatting changed a little bit, and it just, they took it upon themselves to kind of go through, and this is Jesse, to kind of condense it a little bit, to make it all the same font, to make it look a little nicer. So I asked them before they printed a whole bunch more new of these that we would want to go through over this. And one thing I definitely want to add to our the policy. So right now we have, 19 things about, you can do this, can't do that. We don't have actually what they're called, but anyways, I would like to add on there to not use graffiti, or not graffiti, confetti. Confetti is very, very difficult to clean up, especially the plastic type of it. I mean, we still pick up plastic pieces from last year, and that we find in the dirt or the edge of the pavilion. So, so I want to add that to that. And another thing that they did is they kind of starred and highlighted some really important spots. So I think that's good. And then whether or not we want to, increase the, it's not my recommendation too, but it's still pretty on par or slightly cheaper than the places around us. So I think that's still fine, but in my opinion, is there anything that you guys saw on there that would be good to try to make some of the changes before we? And of course, we'll have to have a vote to accept.
How much is the rental fee?
75 non-resident and 50 for residents. We'd have to have taxes on there. And then Kreider Worlds for Garden. Now this one, I don't know. It's pretty cheap. It's 150 for like a wedding. That allows them to bring in chairs, sound system, decorations. 150 for resident and 200 for non-resident. At the same time, as far as potentially increasing that cost, we have seen a decrease in weddings overall in the last 5 years or so. I don't have any exact numbers, but just kind of in my personal thoughts of noticing that.
There's some weddings that just happen.
Oh yeah,
A
we
lot.
definitely have weddings that just happen. And typically those are like, really quick in and out weddings, but still.
Well, two things. One is verbiage, and Elma, thank you so much for going through that. I think the other comment then is pricing. Does anybody have any thoughts of leave it alone, try to increase? I'm kind of simple, leave it alone. That's one vote.
Yeah, it's
That's
not,
fine.
Okay,
yeah, it's
okay,
not that
leave it
much
alone.
money.
Leave it alone. Elma and Tom on the verbiage. Add the things that you're speaking of. Confetti, I think is a no-brainer.
Whether or not they comply,
Yeah,
at least it's on
but
there.
it's in there.
And then you can charge them for damages if they use it.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember if that's in here. or not.
We have to vote on the no confetti rule, or can we just say, okay, we agree?
I think in the past, we've always had to, sure if that's something that came down from town hall or whatever, but we've always made it a motion.
I move we do not allow confetti in the parks.
I second that. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
So that would be added to the reservation policy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never done a study of our user agreement versus other towns' user agreement, and it never floated to the top of the heap. But if this, if what we have with these changes
Yeah,
is satisfactory, then I think we need to move ahead.
I do know that quite a few other ones have a deposit, which complicated internally. Um, and at this, we're very blessed that we don't have places that if they don't have a deposit, then they leave the place like, there's a lot of extra work that has to go into cleaning up or damages and stuff like that. Again, we're blessed. We don't really have to deal with that. So I think it gets more complicated when you have that. So
Well, do we need to have a vote on if this suffices with these changes, move ahead? Motion so made.
Yeah, I'll make a motion.
There it
Approve
is.
with the changes.
Second.
Second, all in favor, say.
Aye.
Okay.
all right, thank you.
Tom, do you have, is it,
Yeah. So the MACOG access agreement, so now we're at that. So that's where this is, we were able to get, just, I think we, just to update, update you, even if you had been updated already, but we did have a meeting with the owner of the adjacent property to the park, Riverbend Park. And he did sign the access agreement forms with MACOG. And then after that process, MACOG let us know, it's like, oh yeah, well, we need to get you to the town to sign for us to, for them to be on town property and access it for there's 3 parcels actually in Riverbend. So, town council signed off just Monday night, and for the properties that are titled in the town of Middlebury or the town council members. And then there's one parcel that is currently titled as Park Board. So Park Board would need to sign this as well, allowing them access to do the
Trash delineation.
trash delineation, among other things. And it's listed in here. Basically the environmental review.
so this has been pre-signed by the council, so is there really any reason other just us not to sign it?
Yeah.
So,
The only reason we have to is because Park Board is on one of the titles parcel. Probably get a motion on that too, though.
you just want- somebody do a motion?
Motion
Okay,
I'll second.
did we sign it?
that we sign it.
All in favor, say.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, we have just one more item, and then the last item we'll cover would in the session afterwards. And that is Marlene Pratt. We'll kind of wrap this up, this with something nice. Okay? This is the Middlebury, Friends of Middlebury Parks membership and contribution form. It came back from Marlene Pratt. I think everybody knows Marlene Pratt, okay? You do?
I don't know her.
You don't? Oh, I'm sorry, Marlene. Marlene is a Middlebury fixture, an icon in Middlebury. Her husband was a basketball coach for years.
Okay.
She led the garden club in Middlebury for decades, okay?
Okay.
And Marlene has always been a real nice backer of parks. And for example, they've through the gardening club, they gave us a tree every year for years, haven't they, Tom? So, yeah.
Mhm.
Until they disband because they kind of aged out, okay, which it's life. Anyhow, what I wanted to share is the comments on the contribution form. It goes, it says the membership dues she checked, and she checks, please contact me about volunteering. She says, I am 95 and can't get down on my knees to plant, period. However, I could help with refreshments or raking or cleanup or trimming or many other ways. Arlene Platt, Shoemaker Drive, Middlebury. So I think that is really, really nice and really, really important that we have people that have been long-term Middlebury people that are 95 years of age that say, I want to be of assistance. So I think that speaks to everything that we have done and we stand for. So I say congratulations to the park board. And we are, the landscape committee has allocated some dollars to give her a gift certificate to Homeland Gardens as our appreciation of this. So kind of a really, really nice thing. So with that, any other comments or questions before we can close? If not, I say this August the 19th meeting of the Park and Recreation Board is formally closed.